Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for Lucha Underground Season 1, Episode 25. And this episode is called The Way of the Drago. And this episode was taped on February 21st, 2015, and it aired on April 29th, 2015. And we had Matt Stryker and Vampiro on commentary for this show. And we had the first thing on the show. It was a segment with Dario Cueto and the crew. And Dario Cueto's disappointed in the crew because he pretty much handed them the Lucha Underground Trios Championships, but they couldn't even defeat three fighters that were already beaten down in a match. So he brings them he brings them into the room where he keeps that monster that the Black Lotus has been trying to um, kill, and says that we find out that it's his brother. And Dario Cueto says that I'm a forgiving man, but next time you disappoint me, you're going to have to deal with my brother, who isn't as forgiving. So I like this backstage segment. Well, I like this segment, I should say. It really wasn't a backstage segment. It made sense considering the fact that the crew pretty much, lost on the previous episode. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is they'll get another opportunity at the Lucha Underground Trios Championships. They'll fail to win them, and then we'll find out who that beast is. And it looks like a beast, and that whatever is in there looks like a beast. Then we had the first match on the show. It was Phoenix versus Killshot. This was a really good match here. I really enjoyed it. Um, Phoenix hit a really cool suicide dive on the outside. Killshot hit the back suplex into the lung blower. Phoenix hit a really cool reverse Rana, a really cool super kick. But then eventually the finish come when he hits um, a power pile driver for the win, or whatever he calls it. I really liked this match. I thought it was really good. I thought Killshot really showed his skills in this match and showed that he could hang with Phoenix, and he looked really strong in this match. So I'm going to give this match 3.5 stars. I really liked it. Then we had a backstage segment with Dario Cueto and Drago talking, and Dario Cueto pretty much does all the talking and talks about how Drago never thanked him for giving him this opportunity at the Lucha Underground Championship. And you may think that I'm not doing you a favor by making you put your career on the line, but I've seen you fight through adversity before, and how your kind has gone extinct and you're still standing, and eventually, at the end of the night, you will thank me for granting you this opportunity. So I like that. That was interesting. And then he goes to talk to Prince Puma, and he tells Prince Puma not to be conflicted about possibly ending the career of Drago, because a, a warrior that's a champion doesn't really think about that type of stuff. They'll be champion at any cost, and he wants a warrior to be a champion. And then when he walks away, Hernandez comes up to him, and Hernandez is upset with Dario Cueto because he put him in a triple threat match against King Quano and Cage, and he just pretty much knows that that's just going to be a glorified handicap match. They're just going to team up on him. So Dario Cueto says that he's going to give them an incentive to want to fight each other by making the match a Lucha Underground Championship #1 contenders match. And Hernandez obviously liked this, and you could tell that Prince Puma wasn't happy about this because he overheard all of this and was upset about it. And then we were supposed to have a fatal four-way match. It was oh crap! Hold on, I gotta get the that match up because I thought it was gonna be on Wikipedia, but it wasn't. Just give me a second. But I'll read the match, and then obviously I thought the match would be on Wikipedia because it was a no contest, but I guess they didn't really count it as a match. It was more of a segment. Alright. It was Famous B versus Ricky Mandel versus Hennis versus Vinny Mas. And I liked the tie-in here because these were all these people were people that Pentagon Jr. had taken out. So I liked the tie-in. I didn't really like what they did here, though. Pretty much this really wasn't much of a match. Tejano Jr. just ran in and beat the crap out of everybody and laid out, I believe he laid out Ricky Mandel with a powerbomb. Now, while Tejano Jr. looked good in doing this and stuff, it would have made more sense if Pentagon Jr. did this, since these were all people he's taken out, and the tie-in would have been much better, but whatever. Then he calls out that guy that attacked him on the previous episode of Lucha Underground to come fight him in the temple. So, there was that. So yeah, I didn't hate this or anything, but I just think Pentagon Jr. being in this spot would have been much better. And then we had another segment with Dario Cueto, where he meets up with this guy that's wearing like a Moss t-shirt or something, and we find out that his name is Marty the Moth Martinez, and he wants to be a part of Lucha Underground because he wants to be one of the fighters. But Dario Cueto pretty much thinks he just wants to go there as a fan, so he kind of tells him how he could get tickets and stuff, but he says that he wants to be a part of it as a fighter. And Dario Cueto just thinks this is a joke, because he only offers the temple. He says he offers the temple for any fighter, but if he lets him join the temple, then it's just going to make the temple look like a joke. So he pretty much just calls security and has this guy removed. I like this here, though. I kind of interested to see where this goes. And then the Lucha Underground Championship #1 contenders triple threat match. Hernandez versus King Cuano versus Cage. Good match here. Throughout the beginning of it's Cage and King Cuano double teaming Hernandez. They hit a double suplex on him, but then eventually, Cage hits an elbow drop on him, and King Cuano hits Cage hits a standing moonsault on him. I'm sorry, and then King Cuano hits an splash from the top turnbuckle. But then when King Cuano goes to get the win, Cage tries to hit a roll up himself because he realizes that a Lucha Underground Championship match is on the line. So then King Cuano and Cage fight each other for a little bit, and then Hernandez gets back into the fray. And King Cuano and Cage, I kind of liked, were able to kind of start to work back together again and take out King Cuano. I liked that tie-in. I thought that was really cool. And they double team Hernandez again and dominate him. And then they fight Cage and King Cuano again. They fight them amongst themselves. And then Hernandez makes a comeback. And Hernandez ends up hitting a torture rack like facebuster onto King Cuano. I forget what it was, Matt Striker called it, but it was really cool. And he went for a cover, but Cage broke it up. And the finish is Marty the Moth Martinez jumps the ring and pretty much wants to be a part of the experience. And King Cuano takes him out with a drop kick, and Cage throws him out of the ring. And Hernandez takes them both out with a double pounce and hits a powerbomb facebuster on King Cuano for the win, and he becomes the #1 contender to the Lucha Underground Championship, which made sense because they've been trying to tease some sort of title match between him and Prince Puma, so it made sense that he became #1 contender. And I hope, and I'll get to more of my thoughts about that when I get there. So yeah, but this match was good. I give it 3 stars. I kind of liked the tie-in with Marty the Moth Martinez jumped the ring. And then we had the main event. It was a Lucha Underground champion. Actually, no, it was a title versus career match. Prince Puma's Lucha Underground Championship versus Drago's career. And Prince Puma was accompanied by Conan in this match. And this was a really good main event here. I thought both performers looked really strong. Prince Puma hit a really cool suicide dive on the outside. He had a really cool tilt-a-whirl DDT. actually, before I continue breaking this match down, I did forget one thing. Vampiro did this interview segment with Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico, talking about the winning the Lucha Underground Trios Championships. They talked about how they were happy they finally won those after everything that they've all had to go through. But they're still kind of showing dissension with each other. Angelico pretty much is taking the credit for them winning the titles because of its big high crossbody dive. Ivelisse takes credit for leading the team to victory, but Son of Havoc takes credit for single-handedly helping them win the tournament. So they're pretty much still fighting with each other, but they said that they're going to, when it comes to defending the championships, they're going to put aside their differences to make sure they stay champions. And Ivelisse we see is in a cast, so I'm assuming that's going to be a tie-in on a future episode of Lucha Underground. So I wanted to make sure I broke that down. Now let's break down the main event, though. Let me continue breaking it down. So yes, I really enjoyed this main event. They had some really cool trade wrestling holds. Drago, I kind of like the way he wrestled, where he didn't really take many risks in this match. He took some risks. He hit a reverse Rana, a tilt-a-whirl DDT. He hit a really cool submission move on Prince Puma, but Prince Puma got to the ropes. Prince Puma hit his typical moves, his suicide dive on the outside, the flip dive on the outside, a power bomb, and they both, I thought, looked really strong in the match, and I liked the story they were telling in this matchup. But then eventually, the referee takes a bump, so this allows Hernandez to run in, and he takes out Drago with a pounce. Inadvertently, it looks like he was going to take out Prince Puma, and Prince Puma isn't happy about this, and realizes he has to take the win anyways, but he doesn't want to take the win in this way, so he hits a fire starter, or whatever it's called, power driver for the win. But what was difference between his and Phoenix's is that he hit a spinning fire starter power bomb, so that was the difference. And Prince Puma retains the championship, but he's very unhappy about it, and Conan pretty much just tells him, hey, no matter what, you have to take the victory. So what this is probably going to lead to is, I think they're going to have Conan finally turn on Prince Puma and align himself with Hernandez, and we'll get a title match between them, which I think would make sense, and I would like to see that, so I hope that's what happens, because I've talked about from the beginning of doing these Lucha Underground reviews that the pair-up between Conan and Prince Puma is just really weird and awkward, and I kind of think they should get away from that. But afterwards, Prince Puma shows his respect towards Drago, and raises his hand afterwards, and Drago, the fans chant, thank you, Drago, and Drago pays his respect one final time, and leaves to the backstage area, and he comes face-to-face with Dario Cueto, and Drago just tells Dario Cueto that we will meet again at some other point in time. And I kind of like this, because I don't think Drago's really spoken that much, and the fact that he actually spoke meant something, so I'm happy about that. But when Drago leaves through the curtain, a big explosion goes off, so I don't know if we're supposed to assume that Dario Cueto murdered Drago or something, but I guess that is what it is. But overall, I thought this was another great episode of Lucha Underground. I liked the story they told with Drago going through his career path, going into the title match, and I like the triple threat match, and I liked, there was something else I liked on this show. Oh, and I liked the Phoenix kill shot match, and yeah, I thought the only thing I really didn't particularly care for was that four-way match. That was just really pointless, but everything else I liked, I thought came off really well on this show. So if I had to rate this show, I'll give it a B. It was a great episode. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't quite a B+, but it was pretty close. So yeah, I give it a B, and that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM brothers and on the Talkinator YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.